push this a little bit to the side. Little bit, not too much. Forget it. No. Push back. Fully, as much as you can. Can somebody help him, please? Push it back as much as you can so that... anyway, move to the left a little bit. Otherwise, I can't see the people, they can't see me also. Do it. Yeah, that's easier. Much better. Jayo Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari Jaya Gopijana Vallabha Girivaradhari Yashodanandana Vraja Janaranjana Yashodanandana Vraja Janaranjana Yamuna Tira Vanachari Yamuna Tira Vanachari Jayo Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari Jayo Krishna Balaram Jayo Krishna Balaram Krishna Balaram Jayo Krishna Balaram Jayo Nittai Gauranga Jayo Nittai Gauranga Nittai Gauranga Jayo Nittai Gauranga Jaya Jaya Prabhupada 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 Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Reading from Srimad Bhagavatam 8th Canto Chapter 22 Texts 29 to 30 Kshina Riktaschutusthanat Kshina Riktaschutusthanat Kshipto Baddhascha Shatrubhihi Kshipto Baddhascha Shatrubhihi Gnatibhischa Parityakto Gnatibhischa Parityakto Yatanam Anuyapitaha Yatanam Anuyapitaha Guruna Vatsitaha Shapto Guruna Barsitah Shapto Jahau Satyam na Suvrataha Jahau Satyam na Suvrataha Chalairukto Maya Dharmo Chalairukto Maya Dharmo Nayam Chajati Satyavak Nayam Chajati Satyavak Shinariktaschutah Sthanat Shipto Baddhasta Shatrubihi Natibhischa Parityakto Yatanam Anuyapitaha Guruna Bharsitaha Shapto Jahau Satyam na Suvrataha Chalairukto Maya Dharmo Nyayam Tyajati Satyavak Chinaruktaschutasthanad Kshipto Baddhascha Shatrubihi Natibhischa Parityakto Yatanam Anuyapitaha Guruna Bharsita Shapto Jahau Satyam na Suvrataha Chinaruktaschutasthanat Shipto Baddhascha Shatrubihi Natibhischa Parityakto Yatanam Anuyapitaha Guruna Bharsito Shapto Jahau Satyam na Suvrataha Chalairukto Maya Dharmo Nyayam Chajati Satyavat. Word to word translation. Shinariktaha, although bereft of all riches. Chutaha, fallen. Sthanat, from his superior position. Kshiptaha, forcefully thrown away. Baddhascha, and forcefully bound. Shatrubihi, by his enemies. Gnatibhischa, and by his family members or relatives. Parityaktaha, deserted. Yatanam, all kinds of suffering. Anuyapitaha, unusually severely suffered. Guruna, by his spiritual master. Bharstitaha, rebuked. Shaptaha, uncursed. Jahau, gave up. Satyam, truthfulness. Na, not. Suvrataha, being fixed in his vow. Chalaihi, pretentiously. Uktaha, spoken. Maya, by me. Dharmaha, the religious principles. Na, not. I am this Bali Maharaja. Tyajati, does give up. Satyavak, being true to his word. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhakti Vedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. Translation. Although bereft of his riches, fallen from his original position, defeated and arrested by his enemies, rebuked and deserted by his relatives and friends, although suffering the pain of being bound and although rebuked and cursed by his spiritual master, Bali Maharaja, being fixed in his vow, did not give up his truthfulness. It was certainly with pretension that I spoke about religious principles, but he did not give up religious principles, for he is true to his word. Purport. Bali Maharaj passed the severe test put before him by the Supreme Personality of Godhead. This is further proof of the Lord's mercy towards his devotee. The Supreme Personality of Godhead sometimes puts a devotee to severe tests that are almost unbearable. One could hardly even live under the conditions forced upon Bali Maharaj. That Bali Maharaja endured all these severe tests and austerities is the mercy of the Supreme Lord. The Lord certainly appreciates the devotee's forbearance, and it is recorded for the future glorification of the devotee. This was not an ordinary test, as described in this verse. Hardly anyone could survive such a test, but for the future glorification of Bali Maharaj, one of the Mahajanas, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, not only tested him, but also gave him the strength to tolerate such adversity. The Lord is so kind to his devotee that when severely testing him, the Lord gives him the necessary strength to be tolerant and continue to remain a glorious devotee. Thus ends the Bhaktivedanta purport. Om Ajnanatimirandasya Gnananjana Shalakaya Unmalitam Yenam Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Nama Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Prestaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swamin Itinamine Namaste Saraswate Devi Gaurav Vishesha Shunyavadi Paschata Deshatarine Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasadi Gauravaktaranda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Although bereft of his riches, fallen from his original position, defeated and arrested by his enemies, rebuked and deserted by his relatives and friends, although suffering the pain of being bound, and although rebuked and cursed by his spiritual master, Bali Maharaja, being fixed in his vow, did not give up his truthfulness. It was certainly with pretension that I spoke about religious principles, but he did not give up religious principles, for he is true to his word. So we see here the story is continuing a little further. We had talked about how Vamana Deva, the wonderful dwarf Brahmana incarnation of the Lord, had come to the arena of Bali Maharajas where he was performing sacrifice and had asked for 3 paces of land. And at that time, his spiritual master actually forbade him to keep his promise, and he gave various reasons. He says, in flattering a woman to bring her under control, in joking in a marriage ceremony in earning one's livelihood when one's life is in danger, in protecting cows and Brahminical culture, or in protecting a person from an enemy's hand, falsity is never condemned. He's giving a lot of reasons how we can have falsity. But Bali Maharaj knew whom to please. So there's a nice story in this regard. There was once a farmer. He was going to the town, for making some purchase. So he and his son, they took the family donkey, and they were going towards the town. So, it was a nice day. So both of them were just walking, and the donkey was happily walking with them. They were going. Then they came across another person on the other side. And that person said, "Hey, what are you doing, you foolish people? What is a donkey for? You should ride on the donkey. Why are you all just walking when you have a nice donkey like this?" Then, this farmer thought for a second, "Oh, yeah. What he's telling is true." And then he put his son on the donkey, and they were walking. After some distance, they came across a group of little older people. And those people said, "Hey, what is this? Look at this young fellow. He's so young. He's sitting on the donkey, and this poor father is walking along over here. You don't have that much of common sense." Then immediately the boy got down. And then the father then sat on the donkey. And they were going. They came across a group of women. And those women looked at this and said, "See, look at this small young boy. He's just walking by himself. And look at this irresponsible father. He's sitting on this donkey." Right? And this fellow said, "Oh, this is not good," and so he got down. Then they were thinking, what to do? Then this farmer got a brilliant idea. They took one bamboo pole, tied the legs of the donkey upside down, and they started carrying the donkey with them. Right? As they were carrying the donkey like this, people on the side were all laughing. And they soon came to a bridge, where they had to cross the bridge. And this donkey, because he's upside down, is first of all uncomfortable. Right? And then he saw the water. He got scared. And he started thrashing, What happened is front legs, they came loose. Right? And then he fell down. And with all this commotion, because they were near the bridge, they both lost balance, and the donkey fell off into the water. Now the donkey's hind legs were still tied. Right? If this was a normal time, a donkey would have happily swum across the river and he would have come out. Because his hind legs were tied, the donkey ended up drowning over there. Right? This is one of Aesop's fables. I'm sure there is a similar version in our Panchatantra, must be there. Right? And so, right? What is that main gist of the story? Anybody wants to share? Whatever you do, there'll always be critics, huh? Okay. You should do what is the right thing. You should not worry about pleasing people. See over here, Bali Maharaj, he was When his spiritual master told him like this, and he said, "Oh, spiritual master, you know, Shukracharya, you only told me earlier that the highest goal in life is to please Vishnu. And you are telling me now, your enemy Vishnu has come here in the form of this dwarf and he will take away everything from you. If Vishnu has come in front of me, to ask me something, and my goal in life is to please him, shouldn't I just follow his instructions and give him what he wants?" Right? Bali Maharaj, coming in the footsteps of Prahlad Maharaj, right? He was a great devotee of the Lord. Right? Ante Narayana Smritihi. Our ultimate goal of life is to remember Narayana. Ante, in the end of our life. And all our activities should be done to please Vishnu. Here, when Bali Maharaj is trying to fulfill his this thing, at that time Shukracharya gets very upset with him. And he says, "You imprudent fellow, I am teaching you and now you are talking back to me like this." And he rebukes him and actually curses him. He curses him and says, "Now you have displeased me. Everything that you have will be lost." So we see here, somebody might ask this question. See, Bali Maharaj is doing the right thing. Then what is this? Why is it that Shukracharya is able to curse him like this? Right? Anybody has any answers to this? How is it possible? Pastimes of the Lord. There is more to it also. Yes, it's the will of the Lord. Definitely, it is a glorious. He is a Mahajana. How else can you think about it? Yeah, Guru is not following. I'm talking about how come that he was able to curse him. See, in this material world, these laws of nature are created. Karma is created. Right? Shukracharya is a very powerful person. He has some karma. He has some good karma. Right? One great way of losing your good karma is by going around cursing people. Right? Especially somebody who is truthful, who is doing the right thing. Don't you think these laws of karma are very, very stringent in all these matters? Shukracharya will get serious reaction for doing the thing that is right. That's not the right thing to do. Right? The only way, if he was under the influence of the Supreme Lord and for his Lord's pastime he was doing, he can get some exemption. But that's how the world works. But when, despite all problems, all difficulties, Bali Maharaj sticks to Dharma, right? Dharmo rakshati rakshita. The one who protects Dharma will be protected by Dharma. That's why we see over here, the Supreme Lord himself is telling, there were so many challenges. Despite all these challenges, you have, remained steadfast in your vows. Right? I'll just read a few things here. So 8:22. This verse, you should see how the Supreme Lord is very pleased with him, right? Bali Maharaj has become the most famous amongst the demons and non-believers. For in spite of being bereft of all material opulences, he is fixed in his devotional service. Think about the impediments that are being put in Bali Maharaj's this thing. Right now, what happened? Let's think of it. It's not just that his spiritual master cursed him. Right? That is just one of the things. Then what happens? The Supreme Lord himself, right? He grows so huge. With one leg, he occupies the entire universe, from the lowest planetary systems to the highest planetary systems. With his other leg, he occupies the entire space. So much so that his toe was so huge, it penetrated the covering of the universe. And the causal ocean started flowing into the universe, touching the Lord's toes, and that is Mother Ganga. Right? And Mother Ganga flows in all the three planetary systems. By different names she is known. And after that, Bali Maharaj is now yet to fulfill his promise. One more step is remaining. At this time, Garuda, arrests Bali Maharaj with ropes of Vasuki. And he is standing over there, bereft of all his wealth, and everything is gone. Even at this time, the demons, all of demons are saying, look at our master. He's being so truthful over here. He can't, he's doing a yagna, so he's bound by the rules of yagna. He has to be truthful. But he is being unfairly punished over here. Let us all attack and kill, Vishnu and all his associates. And they start attacking. At that time, the Lord's associates, very easily, obviously, defeat the demons. And Bali Maharaj calls out to him, to these associates, says, please stop this, don't do this. Right? So, all of this happens. And now he is bound up. See what all the Lord is telling this. He is bereft of his riches. He is fallen from his original position of being the master of all the three universe, all the three planetary systems. Entire universe was being ruled by him. Defeated and arrested by his enemies. Right? He has been arrested. He has been bound up. He is rebuked and deserted by his relatives and friends. He is suffering the pains of being bound. And although rebuked and cursed by his spiritual master, Bali Maharaj, being fixed in his vow, does not give up truthfulness. Right? Now, we see here, that the being steady in devotional service. Bali Maharaj is teaching us that external circumstances are not the barometer of what we should do or what we should not do. And like we were talking about that story of this donkey and the man and his son. In this world, we cannot please everybody all the time. That is why devotees have to learn to understand, okay, what are the principles of dharma? What should I do? And the Shastras have, a lot of specifications on this. But as you can see, Sukracharya is quoting the Shastras and telling, it is okay in these circumstances. When your life is in danger, you can lie. Right? In a few other interesting other examples he has given when you can lie. In trying to flatter a woman, you can lie. Right? What else does he say? Huh? In marriage, in joking, and then a few other things. Protecting brahmanas and cows. In all these cases, you can lie. See, the Shastric principles, there are many. What should be applied in which circumstances? Which is a first principle that cannot be shaken or cannot be this thing. We should all understand. And sometimes, we may not be able to understand. At that time, we have to take the help of, the sadhus and the guru. Right? That is why in this material world, the Supreme Lord has given us this combination of Shastra, sadhus and guru to guide us properly in devotional life. And so, Bali Maharaj is recognizing the fundamental principle. The fundamental principle is to please Vishnu, to be fixed in our devotional service. Right? You might have exteriorly, you might have success, you might have failure, you might be, having happiness or distress, you may have riches or you might be poor. All of these things will go on by the, prarabdha karma of a living entity. Even when it takes to devotional service, all of these things, prarabdha karma will play out according to the will of the Lord. And one has to remain fixed. And for that, the Supreme Lord Himself is so pleased with Bali Maharaj. Let's see here what he does. He is telling, the Lord continued, because of his great tolerance, I have given him a place not obtainable even by the demigods. He will become king of the heavenly planets during the period of the Manu known as Savarni. Until Bali Maharaj achieves the position of the king of heaven, he shall live on the planet Sutala, which was made by Vishwakarma according to my order. So Vishwakarma was the master architect of this universe. Right? He's famous for a lot of things he has built. He builds this planet Sutala on the order of the Supreme Lord. Because it is especially protected by me, it is free from mental and bodily miseries, fatigue, dizziness, defeat, and all other disturbances. Bali Maharaj, you may now go live there peacefully. O Bali Maharaj, Indrasena, now you may go to the planet Sutala, which is desired even by the demigods. Live there peacefully, surrounded by your friends and relatives. All good fortune unto you. On the planet Sutala, not even the predominating deities of other planets, what to speak of ordinary people, will be able to conquer you. As far as the demons are concerned, if they transgress your rule, my disc will kill them. O great hero, I shall always be with you and give you protection in all respects with your associates and paraphernalia. Moreover, you will always be able to see me there. Right? Because you will see my supreme prowess, your materialistic ideas and anxieties that have arisen from your association with the demons and danavas will immediately be vanquished. So wonderful over here. The Lord is blessing Bali Maharaj and multiple friends. Right? Bali Maharaj wanted to occupy the throne of Indra. Right? And through doing the Visvajit sacrifice and all of this, he was able to achieve it. But because of Aditi's prayers, he lost. Vamanadev came and he lost that kingdom. But the Supreme Lord remembered that, he wanted to become this. So though he gave him Sutala planet, such a, exalted planet that even the demigods want to go there. And not only that, also your desire to become Indra will also be fulfilled. Right? In the 8th Manvantara, when Savarni Manvantara, then Bali Maharaj becomes Indra. See, this is the nature of the Lord's reciprocation with his devotees. The only thing we have to do is remain fixed in devotional service. Right? We may be put in different kinds of trying situations. If we remain fixed, then the protection of the Lord will definitely be there on us. Sometimes, we might have doubts. What is this? I'm facing so many problems. I'm facing this, I'm facing that. What should I do? Should I waver and all that? No, we should have very clarity should be there. What is the principles? What should we follow? And when we do that, automatically the protection of the Lord will be there under all circumstances. Right? So Bali Maharaj's story is a wonderful example of this. That it becomes an example for all of us to follow and practice in our lives. We'll see here. Anybody has any questions or comments that we can discuss? No questions? Yeah. We'll spend a few more minutes. We have about 3 minutes. We will see the rest of the story of Bali Maharaj. So the other part over here, before this cursing, when it talks about truthfulness, the very interesting verse that I came across in the and Bali Maharaj is responding to Shukracharya, right? He's saying, I am the grandson of Maharaj Prahlada. How can I withdraw my promise because of greed for money when I've already said that I shall give this land? How can I behave like an ordinary cheater, especially towards a Brahmana? Next verse is the interesting verse. There is nothing more sinful than untruthfulness. Because of this, Mother Earth once said, I can bear any heavy thing except a person who is a liar. See, these are all very important principles. We should understand that there might be difficult situations. There might be challenging situations one is put in. Now, we should be truthful to our vows to our spiritual master, truthful to our principles in life, and truthful in general. Because people nowadays in this Kali Yuga, right, out of all the regulative principles, which is the out of all the pillars of dharma, right, there's only one pillar that's supposed to be remaining. Which is that pillar? Huh? Austerity was gone long time ago. Truthfulness is the only thing supposed to be remaining in Kali Yuga. Right? That is why it is important, that one should be very careful about, for silly things and all. Sometimes people lie. It's very painful to see that, even in a Punya Bhumi like India, people don't hesitate for the silliest of thing to cheat, to lie. There are serious consequences for that. One may not see immediately. Immediately it looks like you're getting all what you want. But whatever you've gotten through means like that will not stay with that. Right? That will definitely be gone. So this was an interesting one. I came across while I was reading through this. Thought we'll share over here. We'll stop here. Grantraj Srimad Bhagavatam ki. Jai Shila Prabhupada ki. Bol Premanande.